Hello there, welcome back. This is a fifth grade math video where we're going to be focused on how to multiply three-digit numbers by two-digit numbers. So that means there would be a three-digit number on the top and a two-digit number on the bottom if we were using the standard algorithm. Okay, here is the first problem we're going to do together. And for this one, I'm going to show you using the standard algorithm. I'll show you some different ways as we move through the examples, but this one I'll use standard algorithm. So what that means is I want to start by putting the number that has the most digits on the top. Since 989 is a three-digit number and 87 is a two-digit number, that means that 989 is going to go on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and write that up here. 989. And then on the bottom, we would put the 87. So when you stack the numbers like this, you do line them up by place value. Ones on top of ones, tens on top of tens. The first two numbers we're going to multiply are 6 times 3. Or I say 6 times 3? Oh my goodness. 9 times 7. So 9 times 7 is 63. Maybe that's where the 6 and the 3 came from in my mind. Okay, so we have a two-digit answer here, which means that the ones go down and the tens go up when we have a two-digit answer and we're multiplying in standard algorithm. What that means is the 3 goes down here and the 6 goes up here on the top of the next place value. Okay, so let me go ahead and erase that and this. Now we're going to multiply 8 times 7 and add the 6 that's been regrouped. So 8 times 7 is 56 plus another 6 would be 62. So there is another two-digit answer. That means 2 goes down and 6 goes up to the next place value. Okay, so now I'm going to erase that. Now I'm going to multiply 9 times 7, which again is 63, but this time I have to add the 6 that's been regrouped. So that would give us 69. So that's another two-digit answer. The 9 goes down and the 6 goes up to the next place value. Now, in this case, there's nothing to hold it, so it's going to fall down and land right here. So that is our partial product that we got at the end of our first round. Okay, time for round 2. So I'm going to delete these little numbers up here. And if you want, you could cross them out as well. I'm going to erase these lines and I'm going to erase this. I'm going to cross this off. Now, everything I just did is optional. You don't have to do that, but what you absolutely have to do is add a 0 here to show that now you're multiplying by a number that's in the tens place. So 9 times 8 is 72. That means the 2 goes down and the 7 gets regrouped to the next place value. Excuse me. 8 times 8 is 64. And then we would need to add the 7. Oh my goodness. Pardon me. Oh goodness. And that has been added to the top. 4 times 7 is 11, and that would be 7. So that would be 71. So the 1 goes down and the 7 goes up to the next place value. Okay, now I'm going to erase this because I can. I don't have to, but I can. And erase this. Now I'm going to be multiplying 9 times 8 again, but this time I need to add the 7 on the top. So 9 times 8 is 72, and I need to add 7 to that, which should give us 79. So I'm going to put the 79 here. The 9 goes down and the 7 goes up to the next place value. Now there's nothing to hold it, so it's going to fall straight down or kind of straight down right here. So these are the two partial products that I need to add together to get my final answer. 3 plus nothing is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 9 plus 1 is 10, so that becomes a 0 and gets regrouped. So 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 6 is, 7 plus 9 is 16. And then I'm going to put that 1 over here. And then that ends up being 8. So our final answer to this one is 86,043. Okay, here is our next one. It's 573 times 13. Now I'm going to show you how to do this using a box or area model. You may have seen me do that in some of my previous videos with some smaller numbers multiplying. And this time I will show you how that can be done with a bigger number. What we're going to do is look at the first number. It's 573. So that means it would be 5 hundreds, 7 tens, and 3 ones. So that's what I'm going to write across. 5 hundreds, which represents 500, 7 which is representing 70 or 7 tens, and 3. So I'm going to go ahead and split those up. And since I have 3 of those, I'm going to make 3 columns for my box. Now my second number also gets split up. 13 represents 1 10 and 3 ones. So I'm going to put that 1 10 here and the 3 ones here and draw a line in between. So the number that goes in this box right here is the number that is on the top of it and to the side of it. We're going to multiply those to get our partial product that goes in that box. So let me go ahead and erase that. 5 times 1 is 5. And then I need to add all 3 zeros, 2 zeros from the 500 and 1 0 from the 10. So 1, 2, 3. So there's my first partial product. Okay, for the next box to the right of that or in the middle, I need to multiply 70 times 10 because it's the number on top times the number on the side. So even if it's across a couple boxes. So 7 times 1 is 7. And then I need to add 2 zeros, 1 from 70 and 1 from 10. So that's going to be 700. Now over here on the last one, that's 3 times 10, which I know is 30. Okay, now if I want to, I can go ahead and add all those up just to make it a little bit easier at the end, especially since they seem pretty spread apart place values. I can kind of do it in my head. So that would be 5,730. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out here, 5,730. Okay, let's do the next row. That means I would multiply 500 times 3. So that's going to be 15 with 2 zeros. Then 7 times 3 is 21 with 1 0. And 3 times 3 is 9. So this one's a little bit harder to add together in my head. So I'm going to kind of come over here and do it. 15 with 2 zeros, and then 210, and then 9. So if I add that together, I get 9171. So that's the partial product that goes here, 1719. The reason it was a little bit tough is because I had 500s and then I had another 200. So if you're good at doing that type of stuff in your head, you can go ahead and go for it. Okay, now I've got to add together these partial products. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 0 plus 9 is 9. 1 plus 3 is 4. 7 plus 7 is 14. And then 1, 5, and 1 is 7. So my final answer to this would be 7,449. Okay, here is our next one. We're going to multiply 463 times 35. So for this one, I'm going to show you another way to kind of split it up and get partial products. The last one we used a box method. For this one, what I'm actually going to do is kind of use 3 separate multiplication problems and then add them together at the end. The reason I say 3 is because this is a 3-digit number. So as we kind of looked at the last one, we can split it up by place values. So 400s means 400. 6 tens is 60, and 3 ones is 3. Now I'm going to multiply each of those times 35. So this will be by 35, 35, and 35, except in that last one, I might flip it around when I get to it. Now I can use a standard algorithm to kind of multiply these partial products. So 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, and 4 times 5 is 20. So there's 2,000. Add a 0 for the next row. 0 times 3 is, 0 times 3 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, and then 12. And then when you add those together, 0, 0, 0, 4, 1. So our first partial product is 14,000. Here's another way you could do it. You could use the rule that when you are multiplying something, you can just add to the zeros at the end. So what I could have done there is I could have done 35 times 4 and then added 2 zeros for the 100. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's see. And I'm even going to rewrite it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take 35 times 4, and then I'm going to put a little note up here that I need to add 2 zeros at the end. So 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, and then add 2 zeros. So you can see I got the same thing, didn't I? In fact, that's what I'm going to do for the next one. I'm going to flip this around so it's 35 times 6. 35 times 6, but I'm going to put a note up here that I need to add a 0 at the end. So 5 times 6 is 30. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 3 would be 21. And then I'm going to add another 0 here. Okay, for this last one, I'm just going to flip them around. 35 times 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So there's my partial products. Now I can go ahead and add those together. So I can put this 0, 0, 1, 2 right here, and this 5, 0, 1 here. Add those together. I get 5, 0, 2, 6, and 1. So final answer here would be 16,205. Okay, here is our next one. I think for this one, I'm going to show you the box or area model again, just because you probably don't see that one as often as you do the standard algorithm. So let's do that one again. Let's split up 694 into its place values. So 600s represents 600, 9 tens represents 90, and 4 ones represents 4. So we're going to have 3 columns in our box. And then on the side, we're going to split that up. 81 is 8 tens or 80 and 1 1. So that's how we're going to split that up. In that top left box, 8 times 6 is 48. And then I need to add 3 zeros, 2 from the 100 and 1 from the 10. 2, 3. Okay. Next box, 8 times 9 is 72. And then I need to add 2 zeros, 1 from the 90 and 1 from the 80. And then in the last one, 4 times 8 is 32, and add 1 0 from the 80. Okay, so there are my partial products. If I want to, I can go ahead and add those up to the side. So that would be 4, 8, 0, 0, 0, then 0, 0, 7, 2, and then 0, 2, 3. And again, if you're able to add all that in your head, that's great. But if you need to line it up, that's fine too. 0, 2, 5, 15, 5. So this partial product is 5, 5, 5, 20. That's a big one. Okay, let me go ahead and clear all of that. Okay, now for this last row, I need to multiply everything by 1, or the number 1 on the side. So that's going to be 600, that's going to be 90, and 4. And we know if we put that together, we can pretty much do that in our head. That was the number we started with. So that is 694. Now we can add those together. We'd get 4 here, 11. Another 11 plus 1 is 12, a 6, and a 5. So final answer here would be 56,214. Okay, here is our last example for today. And I think for this one, I will show you using partial products again, but kind of in the where we would do just the numbers and then add the 0. You'll know what I mean. It was the same method as you saw in example 3 that we did today. Because again, you guys don't get to see many of these different methods very often. You probably mostly see the standard algorithm. So I thought you might want to see this one again. So we're going to break up 830 into its place values, and then we're going to break up 52. But most of the time, I'm going to go ahead and put 52 on the top for all 3 place values, because most of the time, once I do that, I have to flip them around anyway. Okay, so 8 in the hundreds place represents 800. So I'm going to put 8 here, but remind myself that I have to add 2 zeros at the end to represent that hundreds place. So that's going to be 52 times 8. For this middle one, 3 in the tens place. So I'm going to put 3 here, but I'm going to remind myself that I have to add a 0 to the end of that to represent the tens place. Now you may notice that this ends in 0, 0 ones, and any number times 0 is 0. So we don't even have to do that part. We're just going to cross that off. Okay, so 2 times 8 is 16. And then 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 is 416. So I guess this is kind of a mix of standard algorithm plus, the box method where you split it up. I don't even know what to call this. It's just another method. Then you add the 2 zeros. Okay, so we've got that. Then 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. And then we have to add 1 0. And for the last one, we can just take that away because we know 52 times 0 is 0. Okay, so let's put this over here. 4, 1, 6, 0, 0. And then we've got 0, 6, 5, 1. And we're going to add those partial products together. 0, 6, 11, 3, 4. Final answer should be 43,160. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in another video very soon.